Guys, how are we all doing? My name's Alistair, creators of Desire to Inspire in association with mental health awareness. So yeah, tonight I just want to talk a little bit about things to do with resentment, like resentment when we're blaming ourselves. Sometimes we blame ourselves for things that are out of our hands. So, for example, if we lose a loved one in heaven early, or if someone in our friends, family, partners we lose to a horrible disease, for example, and we sort of end up blaming ourselves and thinking, why me? Why is this happening to me? Or in a particular job, or you've had the rough end of the stick and something's not quite worked for you, and you're thinking why? And again, basically, what we need to do as humans and as each individuals, we need to actually listen to our own emotions and what our own emotions are saying. And when we're doing this, we go through different stages, but we need to make sure that we listen. Because so when we're feeling bitter about something, it shows you where you need to heal, where you're still holding judgment on others and yourself. And so for example, so that is your bitterness, and if you've got resentment against people, shows you where you're living in the past, and you're not allowing the present to be as it is. And when you're showing signs of discomfort around people, that shows that you need to pay attention right now to what is happening, because you're being given the opportunity to change, but to do something different than you would typically do it. So you need to act on it. Another sign of your emotions that you might go through is anger, and you start blaming yourself for things going wrong, and you're blaming other people around you. But anger shows you what you're passionate about, where your boundaries are, and your beliefs, your needs to change, and you want it to change not just yourself but about the world. You want to make things better. And when you're showing disappointment with things that happen in life, that's when that shows that you've tried for something, that you did not give in to empathy, and that you still care on some scale or some level, that you still care. When you're feeling guilt, that shows you that you're still living life in other people's expectations of what you should do, rather than your own mind on what you yourself should do as a person, not what others do. And sometimes when you think of shame, that shows you that you're basically you're internalizing other people's beliefs and who you should be or who you are, and that you need to reconnect with yourself. Because when you give other people the power and the control over you, you feel that type of weakness that you can't do stuff. But then what you need to do is think of yourself, reconnect with your own self and what you want, your happiness. That's vitally important. And when we show strengths of signs of anxiety, this shows that you need to wake up right now, and that you need to be present, that you're stuck in the past and you're living in fear of the future, or what changes might happen, or can it be better, or is it going to get worse? You don't know until you're taking that leap of faith. So it's vitally important that you take that leap of faith, because you won't know. And sadness, that's when you show the depth of your feeling, the depth that you care for others and the things going on in this world. But it's really important when we're going through certain situations and things that happen in our life, that we listen to our own emotions and not let our emotions control us. Because when we're not listening to our emotions properly, that's when our vision becomes blurred and misty and foggy, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on in our heads. We don't know what's going on around us. Other people around us don't have a clue what we're thinking. And sometimes we need to sometimes we need to think that we need to listen to our own emotions, but not everyone can process the emotions at the same time. Depending, like I said, a lot of your emotions and a lot of the things, the different areas that we go through with our emotions is a lot of things of how we're feeling. But if we've also got resentment from things in our past, that is deterring our future, that is stopping us from being our true authentic self and stopping us from growing and developing. And if you hold that resentment against that person for the rest of your life, or for that situation that happened that you couldn't control or went on, for example, then that would be a burden, and you'd be carrying that weight on the shoulders for the rest of your life and blaming yourself. But at the end of the day, like I say, we're all human beings. We all go through things in life. Each one of us goes through our own struggles. It's how to deal with them and adapt to them. But you need to make sure that you listen to yourself, not listen to outside voices, not listen to other people. Listen to yourself. Because when we listen to outside voices and other people, that's when sometimes we can end up saying the wrong thing, go down the wrong path, make the wrong decision. End of the day, sometimes we need to make sure that we actually listen to other people, not just ourselves. So when there's two people collaborating, two people talking, it's not just one person that's talking, the other person's talking as well. So if you've got a problem, talk to people about it, but get them to listen, but also make sure that they respond as well. Because if they don't respond, people are gonna think, well, what have I done wrong? And then to sit in silence, it's almost like they're afraid to speak in case it upsets you more or you fly off the handle. But at the end of the day, what we've got to do as people is we've got to listen to our emotions. And like I say, we've got another big moon coming up soon. And I don't care what anyone says, big moons affect people's emotions, mood all the time. We've got Christmas coming up, bonfire, Halloween, things like that. So we've got like a lot of events happening. But this time of year is when people are tired, when people go into that hibernation, they go into that thinking period, that time to reflect on things that's happened in their life. Do you know what I mean? End of the day, right? We're all put on this earth, to live. But I don't want to be a person that's put on this earth just be living for the sake of living. I want to do something and make a difference to the world and make a difference to other people. And I think that's vitally important. Because, we all have a purpose. But it's awakening to our own purposes and actually realising what we're actually all capable of doing. But it's having that belief inside yourself to do it. Rather than listening to a voice inside your head saying you can't do it. Or listening to other people's opinions, regards to family, friends, co-workers, things like that. People that think that you can't do things, when in reality you can. But just taking that leap of faith. Sometimes when people are stuck or in a rut and they're afraid or scared to get out because they're going into the unknown and doing something different, but then once they made that step and take that leap of faith, they're kind of like, oh, well, I wish I'd done this sooner. But it's because you wasn't giving you time to do that. You was living in fear. End of the day, we have two paths to choose in life. One path is fear, and the other path is love. And I will choose love each time over fear. So when we choose fear, we're stopping our own growth, stopping our own development, we're not allowing things to grow, and we're not allowing things to adapt and us to achieve things and to fulfill things. When we're living in fear, we're stopping ourselves. When we choose love, that is so important when we choose love. And it's massive. And I think we need to do that. And I don't mean just like loving a pet, loving your family, loving your friends, loving your partner, loving you. What's inside you? What's inside your heart and what's inside your soul? What makes it smile? What makes it happy? What makes it dance? We all need to think about that massively. Hopefully I might see some of you tomorrow. If not, have a cracking week, cracking half term if everyone's away. Hope you're having a nice break, having a nice rest and relaxing, spending time with your families. It's vitally important. Love and light sent to you all. See you later. Bye.